I tried to do the third part of the charcoal challenge with the Royal Oak charcoal, but as you guys may or may not have seen on Instagram and Facebook, we got a little bit of rain, and I could totally watch on the masterbuilt app the pit trying to keep up the 250 degree temperature. Now I know, weather and things like that, it's definitely going to be in play, no matter what you're cooking on. But to try to make this as even as possible, I wanted to try it again when the weather was close. On the other two that I've done, the weather was about anywhere between 85 and 90 degrees outside. It was the same when I tried it. It's just that we had a random rain come in, and it was probably a good hour and a half of the temperatures just dropping, and the pit never really got back up to 250. It was always just hovering around 245 or 248, and so that's 10. That was 10 hours. After I let it go, it stopped at 10 hours, and that's with that hour and a half so full of rain. So part of me felt like it might have lasted longer. And so I really wanted to see if it did. So I've got the grill going, I got the smoker going. I didn't have the time to get a brisket. So I'm gonna do something that I've never done before, which is beef spare ribs. And so I know it's not a brisket, and I know that it's not the same amount, but I am only gonna open and close the grill like 1 or 2 times, which is about the same as what I did when I cooked the brisket. That was the one thing that I wanted to make sure. I wanted to cook something that was very long, so I didn't have to open it and look at it. I didn't want to cook steaks and it's opening and closing and the smoker's going down and then going up in temperature. So I want to stay something consistent. So what I found out is, in my research, is that spare ribs, for the most part, what I've seen people is they cook them at about 300 degrees for anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. And as long as it gets to 210 internal temperature of the meat, then they're good to go. So if I'm at 250, I don't know what the math is, but I'm going, that's still going to be pretty long. If I'm at 6 hours for 300 degrees, I'm 50 degrees cooler. So I'm hoping that I'm not opening it. I'm trying to keep it as consistent as I possibly can. But again, I did do the challenge once already. It's just that I had that rain and I felt bad. So we're just basically redoing it again to see if I get the same or a bigger number. So here we go, checking out those beef spare ribs. All right, so I finally finished up cooking with the Royal Oak charcoal, and it was confirmed. It was 10 hours plus. When I say 10 hours plus, it was like 10 hours and 15 minutes. And there were still coals on the bottom, still glowing. So it's possible they could have gone for another, 15, 20 minutes. Basically, what I did to say it was done was when it couldn't keep temperature. So if I set it at 250, and then if it got to like 246 and it wouldn't go back up, and then I noticed that at 240, I would check at 240, make sure that the smoker was still turning on and stuff like that, because sometimes the smoker wouldn't if it gets below the temperature it's supposed to kick the fans on, and sometimes the fans wouldn't kick on. So just double check to make sure that was happening and fans were blowing. And so it's just that basically at that point I go, there's not enough charcoal in there to keep the temperature. So yeah, so Royal Oak charcoal, 10 hours plus. That means Kingsford this time around did win in the sense of time. Kingsford went for 11 hours. But I will probably do some more testing, so to speak. I am going to do either a podcast or some sort of blog post or something about cost value to see how much, so The Cowboy charcoal lasted 8 hours, but it costed so much. The Royal Oak charcoal lasted 10 hours, but it cost so much. Just to see. Now, there were different flavor profiles clearly from all of those, but they were also 3 very different style of charcoals. Even though Royal Oak and Kingsford were closely the same, similar, but there were still textural differences between the two. So I'm hoping to be a little more consistent on my videos and my blogging, and just to help take you guys on the journey a little bit, and more up to date than randomly one week and then next week and then 1 week and next week. I'm having a lot of fun doing this stuff. So yeah, there we go. Kingsford 11, Royal Oak 10 plus hours, Cowboy charcoal 8 hours. So here's till next time.